What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to EP09. Alright, we are on a roll here at EP09. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday, it is chest day. Man, it is a good day. Hope you guys are having a good day wherever you might be in the world. But let's get to some bodybuilding news here. Some very interesting topics to talk about today. First one we're going to start off with is Kerrith Bajjo taking home the win at the Japan Pro and punching his ticket to the 212 Olympia for the 5th time. Ladies and gentlemen, Kerrith Bajjo absolutely dominated in Japan. Now, I will say that this was not a super deep lineup, but Kerrith still had the size, he had the fullness, he had that hard, grainy conditioning, that mature muscle look that I always talk about with Kerrith. He had it in absolute spades here. I think Kerrith actually had a better look here than he did at the Olympia. And you know, one thing I do want to say about this show, you guys, is that there's not a ton of footage out there. There's not a lot of really good quality images or video. So we're going to work with what we have here. But we can tell from the images that we do have, Kerrith was on point. A very dominant victory. His only competition really was Jang Soon Yap, who's also a team member of his on Team YT3, you know, Neil Hill's coaching there. But just to get an idea of the comparison here, Jang Soon Yap just did not have the conditioning to stand up to a guy like Kerrith Bajjo. I do think that he had the size, but really Kerrith just is too mature in his physique at this point in his career. Jang Soon Yap, great physique, but he just didn't quite have the conditioning to stand next to a veteran like Kerrith Bajjo. Now, one thing I can tell you guys is that Kerrith did not travel all the way to Japan for nothing. He wanted the early qualification. He wants to take the entire year in order to make improvements and improve on his best placing on the Olympia stage, being 4th place. And I do think that he has that room to improve. I think with just a little bit more size through the arms and through the legs, this guy could be absolutely deadly on that Olympia stage. And like I said, I do think that he has room to move up here. Top 3, I do think that you'll see Kerrith Bajjo finally, deservedly, crack into that top 3 this year. For those of you that watch the Bodybuilding Breakdown regularly, Kerrith actually announced he was doing this show on the Bodybuilding Breakdown with Bob Ciccarillo and Xavier Wills as special guests. So, big congratulations goes to Kerrith here at EP09. Very happy to see him take home that win, and we cannot wait to see him step back on that Olympia stage. And mark my words, here and now, Kerrith Bajjo will crack that top 3 in the 2025 Olympia. So this next one here, I gotta say, is very interesting. Stephane Matala continuing his off-season journey to the open division. After finishing in Classic Physique for good, he will not be going back to Classic at this point. He's now working with Patrick Tuor in order to put on really as much size as possible to be competitive in that open bodybuilding lineup. So currently weighing at about 131 kilograms, I do think that Stephane has put on pretty significant size here while holding, you know, a pretty respectable level of conditioning. You can still see striations through the chest, the shoulders, not quite as much, but this is what you would expect when it comes to an off-season physique of somebody trying to put on the necessary size to really compete with the big boys here. But although I do think that he's gained some pretty significant size, you know, through the arms, through the shoulders, there's certain things that we have not seen from Stephane Matala as of yet. One definitely being the legs. We have not seen if the legs have come up to match the upper body here, and that's going to be absolutely crucial for Stephane. Now, he did have really good legs when it came to the Classic Physique division. Are they able to grow to match that upper body? We still have not found that out as of yet. Now, do I think Stephane has put on enough size at this point to come in and win a pro show? I think in certain lineups, he might be able to do it. I mean, like I said, we know that his conditioning can definitely be on point, but I do think that he needs a bit more size yet. Despite weighing 131 kilograms, the weight means absolutely nothing if we're not seeing the size to match those impressive numbers. So my prediction here and now is that we will not see Stephane compete in 2025. I think he'll continue to put on size. I think that him and Patrick Tuor will definitely find their formula within that time to put on the necessary size to finally compete in the Open. But as of right now, this is very impressive, but I just don't think it's enough. But I do have full confidence in Patrick Tuor because this guy has turned around physiques like we have never seen before. You know, even Logan Franklin this year came in with really a renewed conditioning that frankly, I wasn't expecting, just as one example. So it'll be very interesting to see Stephane continue to grow here. And like I said, as of right now, this is very respectable off-season conditioning. And I do think that this guy has all of the tools in order to come in, win a pro show, and potentially do very well on that Olympia stage. Top 10, I do not think is out of the question for this guy when it comes to that open bodybuilding stage. But you guys let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Do you think Stephane Matala has what it takes to make it top 10 in the open Olympia? You guys let me know below. All right, we're going to round this one out with an update from Derek Lunsford. This is the first physique update that we've seen from Derek since his third place finish at the 2024 Olympia. And you know, I think that Derek looks as we would all expect at this point. He still looks big, he looks round, he looks full, still a decent level of conditioning considering that the Olympia really wasn't that far ago. We know that Derek has taken some time off here to try and rest, recover, and you know, I think that's one of the factors when it came to his placing here at the Olympia. That's one thing that you can probably say pretty definitively. Now that the dust is settled here, one of the things with Derek Lunsford is the fact that he had a hell of a lot going on here going into the 2024 Olympia. I mean, you guys got to think about it. Doing his first Olympia title defense, that's a lot of pressure just in and of itself. He has a new baby, he's opening a new gym, the Champs Elysium gym. These are all things that definitely could have affected the fact that he took, you know, the placing that he did on the Olympia stage. And, you know, we have to believe that Derek also knew going into this that this would be his last show being coached by Hani Rambod. And there are so many questions surrounding Derek Lunsford going into this 2025 season. Who will be Derek's next coach? Being one of the biggest questions. Will Derek stay with Evogen Nutrition? And I think the biggest question, will Derek be able to regain his Olympia title in 2025? A lot of people do not think that Derek really has the ability to beat a guy like Samson with the improvements that he's made. However, we do have to consider the fact that Derek still has room to improve in and of itself. He took second at his first Open Olympia, then taking first place, now falling to third place in his third season in the Open division. You guys, I do think that Derek still does have room to improve. Now, realistically, can Derek take back that Olympia title? He's going to have a very difficult journey defeating Samson, Hadi, you know, even Martin Fitzwater is coming up quick, you guys. So Derek definitely has his work cut out for him. What do I think Derek needs to do right here and now in order to really make the best of his 2025 season? Well, I think he needs to continue to do what he's been doing since the Olympia. Derek needs rest. He needs to be able to just chill out a little bit, you guys. You know, like I said, he has had so much happening in his personal life, his professional life. I think that it affected his physique going into the Olympia here. Just look at what Stephane just did with Sean Clarita going into the Prague Pro. If you guys did see the interview that Sean Clarita did with Ron Harris over at Ron Harris's channel, you guys should go subscribe to that as well. Sean said specifically that Stephane gave him many rest days, which is exactly what his physique needed. And he did come in improved at the Prague Pro. Derek Lunsford right now needs significant rest. And I do think that if he takes that rest, which he has been doing, that he will be able to come back improved in 2025. I also think that Derek should compete outside of the Olympia this year. You know, I'm not saying that he has to do like an Arnold Classic necessarily, but I do think that Derek would benefit greatly from doing another show, especially given the fact that he will have a new coach this year, presumably. And even if he doesn't, if he does decide to coach himself, which is becoming a little bit more common these days than it was even, 5 years ago, then he could use that time to figure out his own body and really come in at his best, because I do believe that the best is yet to come from Derek Lunsford. But some interesting discussions to have, like I said. Who will be Derek's next coach? You guys let me know in the comments below who you would like to see Derek Lunsford get coached by. Who would do the best with the physique of Derek Lunsford that would allow him the best chance to come in and regain that Olympia title? Like I said, that is a serious uphill battle. But you know what? You guys let me know in the comments below about that as well. Is there anybody out there that thinks that Derek could come in and do what only Jay Cutler has done in the open division and lose the title and come back and win it the following year? But I'm going to wrap up the video right here, you guys. Stay tuned here on EP09 Bodybuilding. We'll be doing another episode of the Bodybuilding Breakdown later this week with Lee Priest returning to the channel with Xavier Wills, and I haven't spoken to Mark's Max Muscle yet, but I'm sure he'll be on board. So stay tuned for that. We've also got the Big Man Weekend coming up. We'll be doing all the coverage for that as well. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. Hope you guys are training hard. Hope you guys are having a great day. And again, thank you for tuning into EP09. Be sure to like and subscribe.